Hello everyone, welcome back to the Hands-on NLP series. Today we're going to be going over latent diffusion in 5 levels of difficulty. And that goes from absolute beginner, like you aren't sure how to install Python. I'm going to help you through getting Python, getting all the packages that you need and calling the model, and maybe even getting a hold of different models and calling different ones. And this is going to go all the way through intermediate of like actually downloading the models, disabling the safety checker, like creating stuff on your own, calling similar images, image to image, all the way to advanced where we're going to be doing text to video and image to video and deforum and textual inversion, a lot of this cool stuff. So there should be something here for everybody. I'm not going to go much into the theory in this video or the subsequent videos within this hands-on portion. However, I am going to do one if there's interest. So let's start with the beginners. Literally just level 1. If you don't have Visual Studio Code, we can download Visual Studio Code. Let's do that right here. Download for Windows, stable build. And if you're on Mac, we got the Mac stable, and if you're on Linux, Debian, you can download the Linux Debian one right there. This is exactly what you do. You just download it and then you install it. It's not very difficult at all. That's the text editor I'm using. You don't have to use Visual Studio Code. You can also use Atom. You can also use a JetBrains IDE like PyCharm. It doesn't really matter. You can even do this in the Python IDE, like this one, where are you? Idle. Like you can do this in here. Your IDE doesn't matter. That's just the one that I have right here. So let's start by level 1.ipynb. If you are not sure what an ipynb is, it's a notebook. It's a Jupyter notebook. This allows you to execute cells of code instead of having to run a whole script at once. If it doesn't look like this on yours, within this extensions tab, go ahead and find the Jupyter Notebook extension and make sure to install it. And you just click install and it'll figure it out. Most Visual Studio Code versions come with this pre-installed, however, so don't worry about it too much. It's just if it doesn't look this way already, then do it. So let's get on to downloading Python right here. Don't click this. Don't click download Python 3.11. The 3.11 Python isn't confirmed to work with everything yet. It will eventually. So if we're at a point later and you Google this, like does the diffusers library and does the transformers library work with Python 3.11, then it's fine. But as of right now, you're going to want to download this Python 3.10.8, which is right here, and you'll hit download, and then you'll scroll down, and these are your Linux releases. This is your Mac release, and then we have a whole bunch of Windows ones. You should download this Windows 10 installer, right? I've already got mine right here, and we're going to go through the installation. I obviously already have it. However, let's go through the installation real quick, just so you can see what you're wanting. Let's do customize installation. You want to make sure that you grab pip. You want to make sure that you grab the idle. You don't need it for this, but it's helpful for other things, like if you're going to do automate the boring stuff or some other course for Python. And you want the Python test suite. This doesn't really matter. If you're not sure, then just check it for those. For this one, you definitely want to add Python to environment variables. This adds it to your path, so you can call Python and Python scripts just from the command line, and I'll show you how to do that. Then you're going to hit install, and this will install. Make sure that you're installing it in the right location. If you have multiple drives, install it on the same drive as your OS. And that's it for Python. I'm obviously not going to install it because I already have Python installed. So we're going to get to the second portion. Once you have Python installed, you can actually activate command line scripts from this Jupyter Notebook just by adding an exclamation point before things, or before whatever command you're going to run. So after Python's installed, restart your machine just to reconfigure the environment variables and come back to this video. And then we're going to get to this. We're going to run pip install diffusers, transformers, tokenizers, datasets. And that should be almost everything that we need to run through this entire thing. So you'll do exclamation point pip install opencv-python pillow numpy pandas. Boop boop. Okay, so once we've run this, I'm just going to comment this out. A quick command for commenting things out on Windows is control /, and that'll also uncomment it just like this. You just select it all, control / to comment and uncomment things. That'll make it so then when we're running this later, it's not going to get in the way of anything. For level 1, we're just going to from diffusers, which we just installed, import stable diffusion pipeline. And once that's imported, we're going to do access token equals a string. And we are going to come to Hugging Face and we're going to log in. And once you're logged in, what you're going to grab is in your settings, you're going to go to access tokens and you're going to create a new token here. You can name this token whatever you'd like, but you want to give it write access and hit generate a token. Once you have it, it's going to show up among your tokens and you can just hit show or copy and you are going to copy your token right here. And your token here. Perfect. Once we have this, once you have your token already, we're going to do pipe equals stable diffusion pipeline dot from pre-trained. So this is code that just helps us gather something that is already trained so that we don't have to do it ourselves. The newest model, it came out just a couple of days ago, runway ml / stable diffusion -v1-5, and then right here you're going to do comma use auth token equals access token, and I'm going to comment this out so it doesn't use your token here as an access token. I already have my token enabled, and it's going to fetch this model and then immediately create the pipe. And it should take about 15-20 seconds, maybe longer if you have to download stuff. For me, I already have it downloaded, and so this is gonna be it. If you're interested in downloading the model yourself and modifying it and doing other things to it, please stay with the videos. We're gonna go over that in levels 2 and 3 and the rest of them. I think we'll get to it first in level 3. In this last one, you're just gonna pick a prompt. For me, I'm gonna say abstract planets photorealistic. I'm gonna say abstract painting of planets. Painting of planets in space. Photorealistic, RTX on, 8K. And the reason I'm doing those other things is, and actually I'll add an artist even, by Vincent van Gogh. I'm adding these in as extra style for the model. And you'll see this whenever you're looking at prompt craft. Basically what's going to happen is you want to put exactly what you want. You don't want to assume anything for your model. And you got to think about what the model was trained on, which is trained on captions as they relate to images. And so think about in a magazine, when you see a captioned image that looks really cool, what's generally in the caption? Like if you're looking at NVIDIA images that are showing off their graphics, they'll have usually RTX on versus RTX off. Or, you know, 185 hertz versus 60 hertz or frames per second or whatever you'd like. You can add these things into your prompt to get a particular thing. I'm wanting an abstract painting that's also somehow photorealistic. So we'll see what that actually works out to. And we'll do image equals pipe, and we'll pass prompt into the pipe, and then dot images, and we'll take the first one. And then we want to look at it, so we'll just do image dot save dot slash images slash, and then you can name this whatever you'd like. For my purposes, I'm going to do an F string and name it. We'll do a bracket right here, curly brace, and I'm going to name it prompt, but I'm only going to do the first, let's say 15 characters of the prompt dot png, and add a curly brace after the bracket. All right. And it's just going to go. You can do as many of these images as you'd like. Just keep changing the prompt and running this exact same thing, and it will save a new image every single time. And this is level 1. Congratulations, you ran your first stable diffusion prompt. Check back for level 2 later. If you ran into an error on a Windows machine, don't panic. The error probably had something to do with the fact that the images folder wasn't created. What you can do is just come over and right click over here, hit new folder, and just name it whatever you put in here. If you put images, you put it as images. If you put photos or pictures or whatever. I want to teach you guys a little bit about first the path. I recognize there are some absolute beginners. So this period here just means this folder that you are currently in, right? So, and I'm saying save it in this folder that I'm currently in, and go into the images folder that's inside this folder. I've got a 2 here, and then save it, and I give it the name to save it as and what file extension it is. So if you go over here and look at your images folder, once you're done generating, then we've got, see the first 15. Maybe I should do the first 20 so that it is a little bit more intelligible. Doesn't super matter, but because you don't even need these curly braces. This is just to make sure that I can generate multiple things without always saving over the same thing every time. And then you can look at your painting here, right? This is pretty cool. I don't feel sad about it. It's kind of nice.